I want to ask,
So
which
you,
of your previous roles do you think would be the least likely to survive in Homestead?
Oh, what a great question.
Lone Wolf.
Yeah. Lone will survive, bro.
Nerd Reactor, roll out.
Homestead, post-apocalyptic, distant future, I guess. And you both play the badasses. Like, I want these guys on my team if anything were to hit the fan.
Yes,
And
sir.
yeah.
so, so the first question I want to ask you is, if you were to be in an actual, like post-apocalyptic world, what type of role do you think you would best fit in? Like, for example, being a soldier, farmer, or like being the leader.
It's a great question.
Yeah, you
I, I,
want to.
I actually feel that Evan is where I would fit to be honest. Like when we were training,
Yeah,
I love training. I love being out there with
you do.
Green Beret. We had another buddy who's a Marine. We had to just be out with those guys and kind of hear their stories and train with firearms and get into that mentality of like just being prepared and how do you think of all the scenarios. If this happened, what would you do? Like we're driving down and Jeff Kirkham's like, all right now on the left, you got to tack.
Yeah,
Someone hits your van. What do you do? You're like, he's like, wrong. Your seatbelt's on. You're screwed. You're
yeah,
like, what?
yeah.
Like you're just thinking and operating in their mentality, which you're not used to. And I really love that. So I'd love to live in that space. I actually uh, attempted to join the military twice, and both times passed everything and was right there about to sign. I actually was going to even try to get into the SEALs when I was 21,
Well,
pursuing acting.
ooh, oh, bro, look at
And
you.
I trained for 4 months and I went after it, and God said no. And I
Hmm.
was like, what? And so now to be playing it on screen is actually kind of a blessing because I don't know, there's something in me that has always wanted that. And yet God's, had another plan for me, which was probably it's a
Yeah,
better plan
yeah, yeah,
than mine.
yeah. I think I would have to be military even by default because I can't grow anything. I actually do not. Since the movie, I went home and my house is definitely more prepared than it was than pre-Homestead. But I was like, I got to get my act together. I got to get it. If you so I got some supplies, but my gardening is definitely got a long way to go. So I'm gonna have to default to staying a military guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, because I
yeah.
was talking to Dawn and she's ready for the if anything were to happen, like she's got everything taken care of. So
Oh yeah, she's got
Yeah.
the horses and yeah, yeah, she's got her
oh
own
yeah,
deal down there.
this movie, right? What I really like, just the tension between the people and like a lot of it's just like humans. It can get
Mm.
messy, it can get just heated at moments.
Yeah.
And so, what is it about you when like reading the script and you're like, oh, I really love just how would people interact and would things escalate or how would people try to de-escalate things?
Man, you hit the nail on the head. It's like you felt the humanity in it.
Mm.
And I felt that when I read the script and I was like, man, I just really want to be in this world. And when I watch it, that's what I feel. I feel like I just love seeing all the different characters because you're right. The world's important, right? We set it up.
Yeah.
It's happening. But what's really cool is you take all these people and who they are and what they do and what they think they don't do and you put them in there and then you just see what happens. And that's really what we're doing is
Yeah.
we're all bouncing off of each other and I don't know. I resonate with it personally with a lot of the characters and not even my own. It's like I resonate with his character when I'm watching the performances. I resonate with Dawn. I resonate with, the kids. It's like there's a little part of everybody that I'm like, oh, I get that, man. I'm totally living that right now, or I'm feeling it now.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And for me, it's you give over to the story, right? And for Jeff, there's, heart of peace and heart of war, and
Mm.
there's really high stakes. And because of what's going on in the story, I'm pretty much heart of war the whole time. And, Bailey, me personally, I'd like to be liked a little bit more, but the role requires for Jeff to stay in that heart of war, and he's on a mission, and
Yeah.
that's what our military guys do. We got to
Hmm.
go achieve and accomplish the mission,
Hmm.
and failure's not an option. So
Hmm.
there are going to be times where the audience is like, Jeff needs to chill, but he doesn't really get to do that. Maybe two
Yeah.
2 seconds in the film.
Yeah. Well, I love that you
Well,
say that
I guess
because
you got to
even
smile.
yeah, absolutely, even playing Evan and like working with you as a person, like Jesse,
Yeah.
working with you, I actually, when he gets into his character, Evan now is challenged to go, man. Okay, but he still has his back,
Yeah.
and he still loves this guy like a brother. So it's like
Yeah.
I was actually feeling that, like, and I noticed that when I'm playing with different
Sure.
people in the world. So I love that you brought that up because your character definitely
It is
has a heart
cool.
and he goes for it.
Thank you. And we've worked together long enough, known each other long enough. We've started the series now,
Hmm.
and those connections are just getting deeper, and that chemistry comes off
Yeah,
on the screen, and not just with Jesse and I, but with Manny and
yeah,
Kevin, and
yeah.
so it's yeah. I think you guys are gonna
Uh,
like it.
yeah. And then I think with the this world, Homestead, and you played previous roles where I'm pretty sure a lot are like badass characters, whether it's like an officer, etc. I want to ask,
So
which
you,
of your previous roles do you think would be the least likely to survive in Homestead?
Oh, what a great question.
that is
I
a
have one. Well, okay, one pops to mind for me. I played this guy on Ugly Betty, and I don't do a lot of comedy, and it was a really fun role for me. And my hair was all spiky, and it's just kind of a douche of a dude. He was funny, but this is the kind of guy who would die day one in the apocalypse. Yeah, he would have gone away with the rest of LA in the first 5 minutes of the film.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh man, I have to go way back to Smallville days. Played a
Hmm.
character in Smallville, and it was like he's just this high school jock who like wants to get the girl and doesn't really care about anybody. Just very self-centered, and I don't think that guy would make it.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
But if he did make it, he'd learn a lot, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I guess last question for me. There's one moment, one scene. I'm pretty sure you know what's actually there are two moments, right, where it gets really heated. And uh I don't like when you're reading the script, you're seeing that pop out, just seeing how like, oh, this can like actually happen because sometimes things can happen like that in real life, miscommunication and things you think certain things, but it's not really. And then at the end, it's like, oh, what?
Uh,
How did it end up
I
like
know what
this?
you're talking about.
Yeah. So, just what was that like? Just seeing that, being in that scene.
Go for it.
I mean, I think I know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
so I definitely don't want to spoiler alert anything, but it felt real, really real. It's like everything in you believes this is the right thing. And you're not necessarily wrong because with the information you're given and the environment you're in, man, I'd probably do that too. And then when you get the 30,000 foot view from like kind of what everybody else is seeing, you're like, ooh, oh, that's not the right decision, you know? And so, yeah, I that's about all I got on that without giving
Yeah,
too much away.
Bing's a loose cannon, right? And so he's doing what's right for him and going, and then that just gives us more to react off of because our mission is control the situation, keep everything, where it needs to be.
Hmm.
And then, you got this lone wolf out there. So
Yeah.
uh
Yep.
so yeah, it's
Lone Wolf.
yeah. Lone wolf survive, bro. The audience will appreciate that later.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I appreciate it now, but
Okay, good. Yeah,
yeah,
I know you've seen it.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes.
But just Jesse Bailey, it's been a pleasure chatting with you,
Thank you,
and
bro.
yeah,
Thank
can't
you.
wait for when it comes out, and also the series. Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so
Thanks, bro.
much for your time.
and I feel like your character is the kind of like the glue that bridges people together.
Oh man, I'm
And
keeping it together. John, I'm keeping it together.
yeah, and so for this movie, first question I want to ask you is like because in the movie Homestead has different types of people, soldiers, farmers, and then the caretakers, the leaders. And I was wondering for you personally, like if you were to be in a post-apocalyptic future, what type of role do you think you would fit in?
I would play this exact character. Yeah, because even in my real life, I run a 160-acre rescue with horses and gardens and chickens and pigs and all the animals that you could imagine. So, and I am the matriarch of that. So I'm literally playing the same thing in my real life. We just don't have a bunch of guns and guys in camo rolling around and bikes yet. So, but for now, I think I'm well cast for this part.
And do you think that was the reason why Ben would be like, "All right, let's get done in this movie just for that," or is like
I
something
I don't
else
know.
that
Honestly, I don't even know if they knew that about me. Truly, I I believe there's divine architecture at play at all times. So it wanted me in this role. I mean, I found them and I reached out to them because I saw their teaser and I was like, I want to be in this. And so, oh, great. Okay, we're not casting yet, but we're going to keep you on the list. I'm like, good idea. Like, keep me on the list. And then I was working on another project and they said, okay, we're casting now. I literally could not get away. I was playing the lead in this film and I there was not a moment for me to even make a tape. And I was like, guys, you just have to offer me the part. I can't. They're like, no, we're not doing any offers. I was like, well, and they're like, you got to have your tape in by Friday, whatever it was. And I was like, I literally can't make the tape. I go, I'm so sorry. You know, I guess I'm gonna have to pass. I don't want to pass, but I can't make the tape. And Friday went and the weekend went. And then Monday, there's the offer. And they were like, no, we want you. I was like, okay, this is a good idea. Good choice. Let's do it. Let's do it. So that's a true story there. But I think that just art imitating life, life imitating art. I'm never really sure which way it goes, but it's ringing true, especially for this character.
Oh yeah, and here you get to work opposite Neil McDonough, and just making sure that everyone is the community. You know, you're trying to build this community,
Oh yeah.
but then there's like some tension between like how things should be run.
As it would be that's the truth, right? That's going to be the natural structure of power. I don't think you ever get high up on any hierarchy and then everybody gets along. I think that it goes against the idea of what power represents and the effect it has on people.
Yeah, and what I love about this movie is just how it feels like just how different people interact, whether it's through like fear or through
Yeah.
like it's like teen romance.
I
Uh,
know, right? You
yeah,
find a little bit of everything, but this is a microcosm of the world at large. You know, we're all just sort of shoved into this place together, trying to make it work, but there's a real imminent threat of death that's just outside the gate. It gets in the gate too. So imagine trying to keep your home safe and your family safe when everything around you is crumbling. That's the beauty of a post-apocalyptic story, is you get to dive into those realities for a time.
yeah. And there's one scene that I felt like it was very engaging but tense, and it just talks about how human nature, it can things can be just messy or confusing, and just with the standoff, you know, like actually there's like two different types of standoffs in the movie. So
Uh-huh.
one with this like it feels a little bit more personal, but the other one's like on a grander scale with the like the cops and SWAT and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah, and
It's
so I guess
good,
for you,
right?
yeah,
It was
yeah.
exciting.
And so what is that like, just being in a movie like this where not everything is like black and white?
I think it's more honest. You know, if you're really aimed at telling things truly, especially in a day and age where so much of our content that we experience on social media and just abroad is so contrived and so cultivated to appease, this content, although still gentle, is able to hit a truth button and that's always my aim. I'm like, how can I be as honest? I'm never trying to be beautiful on screen. Like, I'm done with that. Like, those days so far behind me. I'm like, I don't want to play catch up like that. Make me crazy and sweaty and ugly and face all contorted and true emotion, because that's interesting to watch. That's being honest. And I think when you're honest, you find freedom. And I am only interested in that in my career as a person, in my life. I want to be free. So I think watching a show that you are able to exist alongside performances like that, that there's no way it doesn't reach through the screen and touch you.
Oh yeah. And I think what I really enjoyed about this, like Angel Studios, they've been doing it's like a lot of like messages, hope, and all that. And this one
Yeah.
has that too. So it feels
Yeah.
very different from a lot of other post-apocalyptic movies or shows.
Yeah.
And so the message like throughout, because there's still the violence, but then there's still the hope that is being cultivated, especially with your character. So
Oh,
what was
yeah.
that like, just reading the script and it's like, all right, oh, I like this because this isn't such like a downer of a movie.
Well, they go together. You know, those two themes support each other. And even if you go all the way back in biblical stories, I mean, there's a lot of violence that happens. And to tell the story of goodness, you can't tell that story without giving its contrasting agent, without giving it, its antagonist. You can't And that's a story, that's just a good story, right? It balances itself out. You have to show that and to do it tastefully and in a way. Something that I really love about Homestead is that it's it's dramatic, but it's still gentle with you, right? It doesn't take you so far off an edge that it just gets gratuitous. It's you get that element of drama, but then you also get you get a smoothing over. And I think that smoothing over is very natural to the human experience, right? Our mothers do it to us. Just being in places that you love, that you're comfortable, you get that smoothing over. And I think that as a human being, we really need that. we need we need
Oh
that
yeah.
smoothing over to feel better and to feel okay and to be able to watch a piece that gives you both simultaneously. It's a bit healing in a way.
Oh yeah. And Don, I want to ask you, like, which of your previous roles would you think would be able to be survive in this world of Homestead?
Oh boy. You know what? I think could I pick an amalgamation of all of them?
Sure.
I think I'm gonna be good. Let's just say that. I'm gonna be good. I have all of those qualities as a strong woman, right? But I also am I'm in my real life, my real life, I'm big into growing your own food, into animal husbandry, learning about natural herbal medicines to be able to navigate viruses and bacterias. And I think this is a type of knowledge that, given a post-apocalyptic scenario, if you don't know a little bit about some of that stuff, I don't know, you better come and learn some of it from me because you in big trouble, right? But I like knowing that I have a skill set that I can go out to the edge of a frontier, which is where I live right now in Arkansas, and I can do okay. It's hard, even in a modern day society with all of you have Amazon being delivered to your house, all of those things. You can go to the grocery store. Even then, moving out to a frontier space is difficult. Can you imagine if you lost all of those amenities? You're like, I feel, even living out where I live now, I feel for people that don't have access to just that, the loss of comfort. The loss of comfort, I think it would be a killer, big time.
Wow. But yeah, that's all the time I have done. But
Yeah,
if
okay.
if a
Thank you so much.
post-apocalyptic does happen, I'll be joining your
You
team.
better find your way to me. I'll take care of you. I'll teach you how to ride horses. We'll get you set up.
Yes. Thank you.